Call me North. I don't have an introduction, but I do have a video game. And in this game, we are starving. This is Citizen Sleeper 2, Starward Vector. This is video 2. How many am I going to make? Probably 2. I mean, it's me. But let's resolve our starving by getting some food. That should get us, what, 4, I think? Yeah. And a double plus on Impressing Nimba. And since I have a 1 and nothing great to spend it on, I'm going to... Actually, got a 50. Yeah, let's do it here. Let's see if we can get rid of our last point of stress. Because stress is not great. 50-50. Will it work? Yes. Alright. So that means we're going into the next cycle with 4 rolls. 2 of them are going to be bad. And my buddies are going to be working on restocking supplies. Supplies are important. They are 15 cryo each. Fuel, also very important, but it's only 5 cryo per, so if I'm going to have my folks working on stuff, I would prefer that they were scavenging supplies over fuel, at least for now. Maybe that'll change in the future. But let's end the day and take our glitch dice. Hey, I only got 1. That's nice. Let's hop on down to Nimba's kitchen. Spend that 1. I'm so close. On that. Let's spend the 1. The 0. Because it'll get me. I actually got the positive outcome. I got a positive outcome on a glitched die. Wow. I'll take it. After your shift, just as you're cleaning up, someone grabs you and asks if you can come out front. Sleeper, Nimba wants to see you. You nod to the other volunteers as you wipe off your hands and clip your cutlery to the magnetic rack. You drift out of the improvised canteen on your way to the kitchen in the back. How do zero-G kitchens work? I have no idea, but I love it. Cutlery? Sure. It was a busy shift, and each shift seems busier than the last. That makes sense, of course. You've seen the steady flow of refugees arriving from the inner system, and most of them, with barely a chit to their name, end up in the underhang. So there's a war on. It's corporations fighting over resources. Naturally, of course. As you cross into the kitchen, you can still hear the rumble of the refugees' conversations through the hatch. The other chef leads you past the rehydrators and the hand-built centrifugal oven. Ooh, that sounds cool. To a small office unit at the back of the kitchen. They knock on the door for you, then glide away to finish their own meal, leaving you to wait by it. You look around the small but carefully arranged kitchen as you wait. Your shifts here having left you familiar with the mix of improvised and salvaged equipment, some of which you had never seen before you came here. Come in, Sleeper. Nimba is perched at a desk, uplit by a small, transparent terminal screen. Reading glasses perched on the end of his nose. And, yup, hand kneading some kind of dough. Precise humanitarian chef. Man, yeah, humanitarian chefs are the best. You've seen Nimba before, but not as much as you would imagine you would while working in a place called Nimba's Kitchen. Even though there isn't a proper sign out front, everyone in the underhang knows its name. The man himself is more of a mystery. Apart from the occasional barked order in the busy kitchen, he is little more than a blur to you. Why do you work here? He barely looks up from his terminal screen, the scrolling text reflected in his lenses. I want to help. The food is good, and I like to stay busy. He's a humanitarian chef. The food is excellent. I mean, where else are you going to find food for literally nothing? And I like to stay busy. Honestly, the food is good. but I want to help. The food is good. The food is good. Uh-huh. Nimbus stops scrolling the screen and looks over his glasses at you. You do well here, Sleeper. You are fast, precise. You're doing good work. He goes back to scrolling. Thank you. Thanks. Nimbus lifts a hand in response. That's my worry, Sleeper. Good workers like you, they move on fast. He leans back and looks at you. 10 cycles, maybe more, maybe less, and then they're gone. And the team gets used to having them here. Gets used to working at that pace, then suddenly they have to work differently. They have to pick up the slack, change jobs, change stations, and a few of them think, well, maybe it's time I moved on too. Oh, he's kicking me out. So what I found is, good workers are trouble, especially those who come and go, like you. He pauses, watching you. I'm gonna let him talk. This place, it runs on consistency, Sleeper. Those that turn up every cycle, good or bad, and they get the people fed. Takes off his reading glasses, inspecting them for smudges. Well, let's be honest, that ain't you. So let's cut to it. I can't use you in the kitchen anymore. You're done. He shrugs. Sorry. But this place also runs on all those machines out there. On the suppliers, I can rope in the donations. Feeding refugees from the inner systems is logistics as much as it is chefing. He shakes his head, which is why I'm cooped up in the back. So maybe you're gone. I never see you again. Okay, thanks for coming. We'll soldier on without you. But maybe you still want to be useful. Maybe I heard you have a ship. He smiles at you. Yeah, maybe I heard you chatting. Maybe I have a little something held up in a place only a ship like yours can reach. I negotiated the purchase of some valuable inter-system spores from a group that come from there, but they somehow ended up at the depot in Greenbelt. Spores make mushrooms. Mushrooms make fungi. Mushrooms are fungi. Fungi is protein. Everyone loves mushrooms. Nimbus sighs. So, if you head to Greenbelt and you find the delivery and you bring it back, well, Nimbus looks at you pointedly. That would be helping. That would be the kind of helping a good worker, or even an inconsistent worker, might be able to offer me. Nimbus squints at you. Seems like the kind of thing that someone genuine, someone who wants to help for real, might do, don't you think? He doesn't wait for your reply. But it also seems like the kind of thing that might sit on a list of priorities for so long it disappears and never gets done. I've seen that happen too. I guess we'll find out which it is. He deftly places his reading glasses back on his face and continues to scroll the screen on his terminal. You know the way out, Sleeper. You turn in the doorway, slightly taken aback, and it slides shut behind you. You glide out through the kitchen, through the improvised canteen and the people eating and chatting there, and into the cold underhang passageway beyond. All the time considering what you might do next and recalling that persuasive glint in Nimbus' eyes. That, I was hoping for something a little more positive out of that, and not, losing my free food. Help Nimba. Minor. Nimba has a delivery of spores that is held up on Greenbelt. Help him retrieve it, and his refugee kitchen will benefit. Yeah? Okay, yeah. Investigate Hexport. Cadet has a drive from Hexport. Cracking it open might reveal the fate of your station and perhaps clear your conscience. Yeah, that's kind of a big one. That's a major one. Finding Seraphine's sister. Seraphine wants to find his sister, and the trail leads to Wellspring. What will you find there? Chaos. And diagnose your frame. Something is wrong with your body beyond the damage you've sustained. You need to find someone who can tell you what is happening to you. That is a top priority, because getting hacked every so often remotely by the bad guy, by Lane, is actually very bad. Every time that we get remotely hacked by Lane, that glitch clock increments, and I don't like that. Also, we got 4 upgrade points that we can use. we're never going to be able to spend anything in Endure, which is a change from the last game. So, interface I'm already good at, right? Yeah. But I could be better. I could be a lot better. Being bad at engineer has hurt previously, but being better at intuit or engage or interface would be useful. Like, being able to add a 2 to any die roll turns your 4s into 6s. So 50% of your rolls are going to be guaranteed successes. That's real good. That's really, really good. But reducing your weaknesses can also be very good, because it means that you can actually do other things. So, Spindle's Edge. Oh, yeah, scrapper ship. I wanted to drop my raw scrap in and get that processed into processed scrap, and also, you know, get some cryo in the process. 7 cryo, so, you know, not a whole lot, but it's processed scrap. What's processed scrap good for? I have no idea. Probably better than nothing. Engine components. Is that... wait. Are engine components what I need for repairs? No. It's got a sphere on the left and a horizontal thing, but no. I've got one glitch right now. I want to repair that die before I run away. And I want to run away in 1 cycle, because I do not want that clock getting high. And also, I want to do some gambling. Danger. So I want to use a guaranteed success, because even a regular success would be bad. Have a negative consequence. Oh, I could put a point into it, and then my 5 would become a 6 on it. Ha 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 ha. Let's see what happens. Guaranteed success. It's going to increment the clock. Yeah. Gained 25 cryo, and also gained sleeper suspicion. I suspect when I fill that clock, I'm not going to be able to gamble anymore, because they're not going to like that I win. And that's fine. I'm going to throw a point into it, so I can wreck up these rich people. Well, I guess I'll take your money. Also, I want the supplies so that I can bounce to the ice-rich asteroid. Yeah. There is a ice freighter, or a water transport that broke kind of bad. This guy right here was venting its water into space, and the captain of it asked us to help out with replacing what was lost. We can do that. But let's see. I want my dice to be, you know, not terrible before I do, which means that I should get repaired before we head out, so that I can get that glitch down, which means going to the bay, dropping repair. I'm going to need to be able to source those rare components so I can fix these dice. I could do 2 cycles, maybe. That wouldn't be terrible. That would give my crew time to source more supplies, so that I don't have to spend cryo on it. Kind of like that. Risky. I could lose some energy, but that's fine. Or interpret signals. No. Let's go for it. There we are. 8 cryo. That's fine. Let's call that a day. At the start of the next cycle, we'll have +1 supplies, or we'll have +0. Who knows? +1. Cool. And there's my glitch die, which I need to spend somewhere. What can I do at Nimbus Kitchen now? Nothing. I can't even buy food. My dude. My guy. He wants 4 crates of spores. Fine. So I need to blow that glitch die someplace. Which means probably losing energy. If I do it, there's nothing that's safe anymore. There's nothing to drop dice in here. No. Yeah, this is about as safe as it's gonna get. 20% positive, 80% negative. There's no middle for this. It's either a 6 or a 1. See what happens. Shockingly, it's a 1, but that'll reduce my glitch clock, so ultimately fine. A 6, a 4, and a 3. As well as a 2, and I can't push while I'm in dock. There's nothing I can really do down here. I'm always going to be bad at engineer. Just always. That's nothing I can do anything about. In Citizen Sleeper 1, you could become good at everything eventually, which, cool, awesome, but also, no one's a polymath. You don't need that, which I think sucks. I liked being a polymath, but it is what it is. Great game. Let's pick up some money. And then we'll run one more cycle here. So that we can clear most of that. And maybe get some more supplies from the crew overnight. 2 to 3? No. And I got a glitch die. But my glitch clock is done, so I don't need to worry about that. I'm going to restock my supplies with all of this money. I don't think I need to blow that glitch die anywhere. But I could do gambling. That's what, 25 cryo? Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Let's blow the rest of these on more cryo before we leave. I'll stop off for a drink at the bar on the way out. Grab that to increase my energy by 1. Maybe I'll get a big success on my 20% die. Survey says no. Holy buckets. Alright. Now I'm ready to go. Good on fuel, good on supplies. Got all my dice, my glitch is 0. Yeah, let's jet. Pick up some ice. Taking Bliss and Yujin. Because I don't have any local options. Had an extra local option, but they got out while the Gotten was good. Alright, the asteroid. This should be a large water ice-bearing asteroid. The asteroid looms large in the cockpit's glass. Light glints off the sheets of surface ice, the same glint that must have caught Malik's attention when he was fleeing the Conway countermeasures that damaged the Springtide. So there's a lot there. Malik is the captain of the Springtide. Conway is one of the corporations that's fighting over the inner system. There's been no sign of Conway drones or mines, but that hasn't stopped Sarah from being cautious in his approach. Yeah, good. Check for traps. You have to admit, you found yourself searching the black void of space for a telltale blinking red beacon, too. We're close enough to jump down to the surface. Seraphim locks down the engines. I don't see anything on the scope, but I'll keep it warm just in case. Why so jumpy? Because everything explodes when we touch it. Thanks. He nods without looking up from the controls. I say we core this snowball fast. Eugene shrugs. The less time we're out here, the less time we're likely to run into anything Conway left behind. He smiles. Simple. Sure, Seraphim cuts in. But fast means messy, and messy means more damage to the ice. We don't need to crack the shelf and lose half the water we came to survey. Who said anything about messy? Eugene stretches, unclipping from the seat. Fast and clean. He winks at you. Easy. What's the line? You can do something fast, you can do something cheap, or you can do something well. Pick two. You unclip from your seat and kick off towards the airlock. The scale of the asteroid is troubling, but Seraphim assured you on the journey here that surveying it would be easy enough. Just take a sample from the deep ice for testing. The problem, he said, is getting down that deep. You'll have to cut away at the ice, dig yourself a hole, and doing so will create fractures in the shelf. The asteroid may be big, but it's held together with only a weak gravitational force. The more the ice is cracked away, the less there is for Farspindle to harvest, something that you doubt Malik will be happy about. You push the worry to the back of your mind and get suited up. Something on your mind? Bliss drifts up beside you and pulls the suit from the rack. Just hope we don't mess up. Me too, they shrug. I don't want to jinx it, but it seems simple enough. Can't say rock, or in this case, ice cutting is my usual strength, but it's got to be simpler than slicing a hole without touching any of the internals. Bliss zips up their suit. We'll be fine. Yeah, sure. Bliss's reassurance that they don't have any experience with the job you're about to do doesn't exactly calm their worries, your worries, but their nonchalant attitude does help, especially when you consider the volume of ice you're about to start cutting into. It's only, giant. Cheer up. Bliss punches you on the arm as you get into the airlock. Might never happen. Yeah. The lock cycles, you find yourself staring out at the glinting surface of the asteroid. 1 second, Sleeper. Seraphim's voice comes over the comms. I'm seeing something here. Some kind of man-made shaft on the far side of the asteroid. Interesting. Eugene is stood beside you in the airlock. Is stood, sure. But in this vacuum, you only hear him through the comms link. Crews sometimes stash goodies out on rocks like this. Let's go take a look. He pats you on the shoulder. Just hold up. Seraphim's voice cuts through. The survey is our first priority, and the integrity of the water ice hunting for buried treasure comes dead last on the to-do list. You can almost hear his eyes roll through the comms link. Don't get distracted. You squint at the rock and spot a dark recess just over the curve of the asteroid. That'll be the distraction then. You refocus on the ice sheet. Time to get started. I think that right there is probably our distraction. So, this is the counter for mission failure. We can fail 6 rolls before utterly dooming the asteroid. So we got the ice sheet that we came here for, and we got the frozen shaft, which goes somewhere. Let's take a look at this one first. So, Sleeper's good at it. Danger for Eugene, and Bliss is good for exploit cracks. So, the shaft may be clogged with ice, but dark cracks suggest a more subtle way through, even if we'll be slow going. And clear the ice. The fastest way to descend the shaft is to break away the ice clogging it. But if you aren't careful, you could damage the asteroid's structure. It'll take 8 successes to get into the shaft descent. Frozen and dark, descending the shaft to whatever lies beneath is a dangerous and delicate process. Yeah. So, if I use anything other than a 6 there, I will wreck up. So let's call that Plan B. Meanwhile, Ice Sheet. This is the whole bunch of ice that we're actually here for, and no one is good at y'all. One job. And it's so many. Alright. So if I have a 6 from Bliss, I can slice away the ice. Take the aggressive approach. And my poor sleeper can do a section by section scan to guide to a good sampling location. Progress will be slow. Yeah, it's slow progress either way with a excuse me 2, 4, 16 points on the clock. So that's gonna take a hot minute. I'm not gonna be pushing on this, because if I push, I don't think I need to push. We got 5 supplies. We got good dice. And we got stuff that I need 6s from Bliss. Or, 3s at least from Sleeper. And then I got Yujin, who's just useless on this part. Which means he can go play with his hole. That's awesome. Alright. 4 becomes a 5. A 5 is guaranteed neutral at least. And a positive outcome. Alright. I would like... 2 becomes a 3 that has a low chance of breaking the ice, but also, I really don't want to break the ice. And 4's here. Danger. So I need 6s from Bliss or Yujin to be remotely useful. I can push once without consequences. Once. I can re-roll 3 of these. 50% of them will be 4 or higher. And 4 or higher gets me guaranteed successes. So, 1 push. Didn't I just say that I wasn't going to push? That's better. Alright. So that's fine. Gets me almost halfway there on the first day. So I need 6s from Yujin or Bliss in order for them to be remotely useful. That's fine. We got time. Fortunately, there are no other ships on this one. We can just wait it out. Plenty of supplies. It's just a taking... Oh my shit. Yeah, I took a screenshot of that. Look at that. Double 6s on Yujin and Bliss and also Sleeper. Heck yeah. Let's drop 1 in on Slice Away the Ice and see what happens. Yeah, good, okay. So that's not going to crack up my poor ice asteroid. Wonderful. And then, as long as I'm here, blow Yujin 6s. Not on that. On that one, yeah. Three and 6, good, 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 good. Alright. If Blitz gets 5s or 6s, well, could drop another 6, but this one's the priority. 5s would be fine. Plus on that is 6. I'm curious. What's in here? I'm not that curious. First things first. Get the sample. That should be what, 3? 2. Blow my other 6 here. So I've managed to get through this without damaging the asteroid at all. You've identified the deepest part of the sheet. Time to take a sample core. Cool. New location. It's the core. And it's dangerous. And this is something Yujin can do and no one else. That's cool. Well, now that I'm waiting on Yujin, let's see what Sleeper can do in the cracks. 1. One more. Yeah. A passage has been found through the shaft. Time to find out what is waiting in the darkness below. Derelict bunker, a shadowy installation. Scavenge data. Some mysterious terminals sit in the dark. Their cases may be rusted, but perhaps the drives inside can be spun up. And scavenge hardware. You inspect lumps of corroded scrap frozen onto the walls. This place looks grim, but maybe within the ice you can find something useful. Rusted treasures and ghosts of the past. Well, since Yujin's the only one who's going to be coring the ice, looks like Sleeper's going to be scavenging data, and Bliss is going to be scavenging hardware. Cool. But you can still, we could still catastrophically wreck this by breaking up the hardware. So let's call that a day. This is the end of day 2. No problem. Cycle 2. Crunch. Audio, what are you doing? Okay. So I got 50% success from Yujin. Let's see what happens. Double plus frozen core and stress on a neutral outcome. Okay. Alright, stress, but did not break up the asteroid. Cool. Vibrations shaking the rig. And Yujin has stress to spare. That's fine. Bliss, unfortunately, does not have great dice today. So it's just going to be Sleeper scavenging data. And I'm not going to push, because that's how you break dice. And with a 2, 3, 2, and 1 on the dice, let's call that a day. End of day 3. Which means that the bad timer is probably incremented by 1. Yujin's okay with 5s. Oh, those are on the 4s. 25% negative. That's very bad. Let's not do that. Throw in... Well, let's throw the 5 in there. Ghosts of the past. Something flickers on a terminal. A flickering screen catches your eye in the dark of the bunker. A distorted female face, further refracted by the surrounding ice, stares at you from the terminal with blank, white eyes. Right. You move closer, straining to hear her voice, but the recording is silent? Or perhaps the terminal's audio output is broken. All you can do is watch the pale face as it contorts through the corruption and the noise. It could be explaining some important secret, long forgotten, or just recounting a personal anecdote. Maybe it's saying 7 days? It's hard to tell. Circles and curving arcs flash across the face, graphical visualizations of orbits and flight plans. You squint at them, the shapes unknown to you, and then, as soon as it starts, the playback ends, leaving a frozen frame on the screen. A ghost face, circled by orbits. Is that Navigator? Navigator was a character in the last screen. You slide a drive into the terminal and copy What residual data is left, unsure where it might lead you. Once it's done, you shut off the terminal once and for all. So, got a map someplace. As you leave the bunker, the pale face flashes once more in your mind. Those blank eyes, the flat stare, was that a human or something else? Sadako. You turn the image over in your mind, unsure of its importance. Done. Meanwhile, Bliss. Scavenge me some hardware, please. Danger, so should be fine, but it might stress Bliss even on a success. Nope. +2, alright. And I could throw the 3 in there, but it would have a 25% chance of stressing the ice, so... what was this place? If you can get one of the terminals started. Alright, and Yujin with 4s. We're at 2 for 5 on supplies. 4 would be a 25% chance of a bad. But 75% chance of at least 1. Let's save the dice. If it gets low on time, we'll start dropping other things in there. And I could drop a 6, but it becomes a 4. So it's no better than Yujin's 4s. Bummer. I could push... No. No better. Alright, end cycle. Five and a 3, a 6 on Bliss. Okay, well, I needed that 6 on Bliss for this. 100% positive. Good. You pull a set of rare components from the crate. There's little else of value here. 2 rare components? Heck yeah, that's 2 dice. Repair for our poor sleeper. 5 is 50% good and a 50% of stress, but double up on the frozen core. And then the 5s are 3s, which is bad. But also we're getting low on supplies. They're going to start accruing stress when we run out. So maybe blowing the 5s. No better than the 3s. I mean, I could throw the 3 from Bliss. And that would be a 1? Ugh, no. And stressing out the sleeper is a bad idea. Because repairing those dice is expensive. So, let's hope for some better rolls from Yujin. Why can't Yujin push? Oh, wait, it's because he's made out of meat. Oh, that's worse. 5, 6s, or 4s. Nuts. Well, let's see what happens when we stress out our sleeper. Not terrible. Didn't break the planet. And we're real close on the frozen core. Alright. So that's very close. Is it worth... I think it's worth throwing the 3 in there, because we're doing very good on ice stress. And I would like to get my sleeper out of here if possible. Yeah, okay. Drill comes to the halt. The core sample is complete. And the sample core, a long and weighty cylinder of cloudy ice, comes up out of the borehole cleanly. It glows in the sunlight, catching the rays in its frosted interior. What a beaut, Yujin mumbles through the comms. Looks drinkable to me. Hell, I'd be happy to slice it up and drop a few chunks in a glass or rack. That's not melted down for liquid refreshment just yet, Seraphine chimes in. It's likely packed with unpleasant impurities. The question is, are they the kind of impurities the Farspindle can filter out? Let's get it up to the ship. We can run the analysis on the trip back. Seraphine pauses. And, before we get any ideas, but digging around in the asteroid some more, remember that if we break away any of the ice, Malik will likely dock our pay. You start the journey back up to the ship, dragging the sample core with you. As you do, you look back down at the asteroid, wondering if it might be the bargaining chip Malik has been looking for. You'll know soon enough. 0 damage. Extract the ice core without spoiling the hull. Heck yeah. We got nothing else to do here, right? Yeah. Alright, let's bounce. Leave. -5 stress. Yes, please. Didn't damage my dice at all. Very good. On the journey back from the asteroid, you pored over the tests Malik had given you to run, improvising the necessary equipment from your mess. Each one produced spools of data, much of which you couldn't parse. Arriving into the vicinity of the far spindle, you broadcast these strings of data to Malik's personal terminal on the Springtide, as instructed. Despite all this preparation, you are still surprised when you find Malik standing at the far side of the docking tunnel as you leave the rig. Sleeper. He nods neatly at you. I thought it was better I come down here, away from my crew, to discuss your findings. Trust issues? Well, yeah, of course he's got trust issues. And the findings were... straight to the point. He clasps his hands. Good. As I suspected, the asteroid was indeed rich with water ice. Thankfully, the contaminants can be dealt with. He speaks matter-of-factly, betraying little emotion. With the data you provided, I should be able to convince the Far Spindle administration of its worth. To payment, then. Before I make payment, I would like to ask in person if you saw anything else of consequence. Anything to share with me that might affect my dealings with the Far Spindle. He folds his arms across his chest. I would prefer not to have any surprises when they go to retrieve the water. Nothing that affects the water, or there was a shaft. Yeah, I'm telling him about it. There was a shaft. Interesting. Malik smiles. It is likely of no consequence, but if there is something of value there, it could play to my benefit. I will mention the potential of additional salvage to the Far Spindle administration. Given the data, it doesn't seem to have impacted the ice. Malik reaches into his pocket and produces a stack of cryo chits, bound carefully with a strip of paper. 250 cryo, as agreed. You take the chits and quickly tuck them away. With that, our business is concluded, Sleeper. Malik nods lightly. I must speak with the administration to negotiate the release of my ship and then prepare for immediate departure. The Syndicate will be eager for my successful return. Thank you. Malik bows and turns. Should our paths cross again, I will see that it will be to your benefit. Should hope so. Cha-ching. 621 cryo. Yeah. And the lane clock is at 2, which means I want to be going soon. But where are we going? I know where we're going. We're going to diagnose our frame. We're going to Flotsam. That seems really important. First things first. We're starving. We don't want to stress. So let's drop $4 on a seaweed-based liquor with a powerful saline taste. Serving it neat and strong. Gives me 1 energy, which is all I need to not starve. And then, I have a 6. Venture gambling. Oh, yeah. You are barred from the Beltborn Venture. Security don't seem to care whether you think that's fair or not. Well, I got the money from them that I needed, so bye. Yeah, bird. Whatever. I gotcha. So I have dice and not much to actually spend it on. I'm gonna wait 1 day till that's up to 3, and then I'll subtract 3 on the way to the Flotsam. Scrapper ship is never gonna be good, at least Not as far as scrap shifts, but I could buy scrap components. Process that into processed scrap, maybe. I mean, I have the cash. Scrap components. I got something. I got scrap components. Oh, I can use that for repairs. I need repairs. I mean, I've got 5, but there's always room for more, right? I mean, this is in Citizen Sleeper 1. The stabilizer that you needed started at 100. Price varied a bit over the course of the game, but that's kind of important. So, and I'm a little bit paranoid about the whole dice breaking death thing, so having the components on hand to not die is a bit of a priority. So I'm going to pick up like 4 total. So that I have enough stuff if I need to make repairs. $554.22 would be $44. That's so much. Can't do anything at the kitchen because I'm kicked out of there too. How is it that I'm kicked out of both the super high-end gambling and also the super low-end refugee kitchen? Like, y'all. So the only thing that I can blow dice on here is working at the signal station. Love this music. Alright. And I can do Intuit or Interface now. 13, same price, yeah. But I discovered a new location. Hello. Where is the new location? It's not on the station. It's not local. Flotsam is out there, the Hellion Gate. There's Holmes Rock, but there's a debris field in the way, so I would need to fly around that by going to the Hellion Gate or to the Flotsam. Looks like there's a way from both. And then this up here, Wellspring, where we want to go to get Seraphim, his sister. Gotta go to Holmes Rock in order to get there. And then further out you have ice fields, which mean Wellspring, ice fields, makes sense. The Wash is sunward, the Scatter is anti-sunward. Dark Side is where we started, more or less. Really. That's the place that we escaped from in the opening action sequence. This irradiated zone, there used to be a station there. It's gone now. Hellion Gate to Greenbelt to Scatter Yards. Greenbelt is where they wanted us to go for to get spores. So we could, with all of our cash, go to Hellion Gate and then Greenbelt, grab the spores, come back, and then go to Flotsam, where we need to go for the repairing our poor body. Because something has gone very wrong, and I need to get out there. Nemba wants us going in the... No, Greenbelt. Greenbelt, yeah. And Cadet has a drive from Hexport. Hexport is the place that exploded badly. Meet Cadet in the Scatter Yards. Where is the Scatter Yards? Not there. Scatter Yards. But getting to the Scatter Yards would mean going through this red area right here, which I very much suspect would be very, very bad. Because that's where the bad guy is. That's where Lane hangs out. There's a whole lot of radiation right there, and also a whole bunch of debris. The shoals has a lot of rocks. The Sunward Gap, the pockets, the wash. Well, I mean, I'm going to Hexport next. There's no two ways about it. But I'm starving once again, so grab a drink before I go back to work, because there's nothing like working drunk. Align the rays, interpret signals. Interpret me some signals, please. Found a new location that way. That's what happens when you go to work drunk. Nope. Alright. I could starve. That would be plus stress, and then drop a stress, drop a die into the bunks. But I have the cash for it, so why not? And I want the extra cycle for supplies. If they can pick up supplies, that's worth 15 cryo. That's so much. So, drop 4 cryo on that. Call a night. And, yeah, let's do one more cycle. Where are we for time? Yeah, it's been a minute. Alright, we're going to call it here. Thank you so much for watching. Deeply appreciate it. I hope that you should play this game. It's super cool. I love it. I love the series. The first one was amazing. The second one's very good so far. So, yep. That's all I got. Be well.